Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair. And today we have a pretty high-end and expensive Jackson on the channel. This is a 2006 Jackson USA Select Series Soloist in natural. Let's have a look. So I picked this one up locally, and I've never tried out a super high-end Jackson before, so I thought it'd be interesting to document this on the channel. I haven't even plugged this thing in yet. I'm not sure if there's problems with it. I'm not sure about anything. So we're going to go through that together. It comes in this really nice flight case, molded Jackson flight case. Seems like it's super nice quality. And I'm not the most knowledgeable person about Jacksons, so I'm going to do my best to, do this video to the best of my ability, but my knowledge is a little bit lacking on Jacksons. All right, here it is. So yeah, it's a pretty gorgeous guitar. It's got some really nice flame on the top here. This is a natural finish with a flamed maple top. It's got ebony fingerboard, real mother of pearl shark inlays. It's got super jumbo frets on here, with a bound neck and a Floyd Rose system. And then it's got a flamed headstock as well. There's the Jackson Made in USA. It's got Seymour Duncan pickups. I'll double check the exact models when we get into the specs a little bit more. One volume, one tone, three-way selector switch. And this is a neck through model. So what that means is there's one piece of mahogany that goes all the way from the body all the way to the neck. So all the way up from the scarf joint here to the rest of the neck, down and through the body is one piece of wood. So kind of like a Firebird, if you're familiar with Gibsons, which I am. And then there's two wings, two body pieces that are glued onto that centerpiece for the rest of the body. So this is all mahogany, mahogany back and neck. Again, there is a scarf joint there. And it's a through neck design. There's our hardware for the Floyd with our Jackson tuners. And we've got a really nice belly cut there. And it just seems super high quality. This guitar's in really nice shape as well. It doesn't have any marks or dings. I was actually able to bring this up on the Wayback Machine. Wayback Machine is a website that archives old websites. So I actually brought up the year this was made on the Jackson website. And I've got the actual official specs. So this neck through body is a quarter sawn mahogany piece of wood. They use quarter sawn on super high-end guitars for necks. So this is a quarter sawn piece of mahogany. It's just a stronger piece. So I actually looked up the pickups. The official pickups in here are the Seymour Duncan JB TB4 in the bridge, and the neck pickup is the Seymour Duncan 059 SH1N in the neck. And the bridge is an original Floyd Rose double locking 2-point tremolo. And this is a 25.5 inch scale length. The fingerboard actually has a compound radius, so it goes from a 12 inch to a 16 inch. And again, yeah, the mother of pearl shark fin positions with a bound fingerboard and headstock. Supposed to have CTS pots and Switchcraft switches. Some other unique features I saw was it's got metal pickup rings, which is kind of cool, and a pretty unique looking knob for the three-way switch. And our serial number is actually impressed on the fingerboard here at the end of the fingerboard. And this is a 24 fret model. At my first impressions, it seems like a super nice high-end guitar, and these are quite expensive. They're kind of rare from what I've seen. I haven't seen too many on Reverb or past sales or anything else like that. But the ones that have sold or are on Reverb right now are around $5,000 Canadian. So yeah, pretty expensive. And I've noticed that the string gauge and the action is quite a bit higher than I would like, so I want to use a smaller string gauge, probably 10s on this one, and then lower the action a bit. I can definitely tell it needs a setup. And some of the frets are a little oxidized too, so we'll go through that. But let's go ahead and get this on the bench and get some specs. All right, weighing in at a perfect 8 pounds or 3.63 kilograms. I haven't even plugged this guitar in yet, so let's just make sure it's reading all right, make sure there's nothing wrong with the electronics. So here, okay, here is the bridge pickup, which is the Seymour Duncan JB-TB4, which is reading a very hot 17.38. And then the neck pickup, the Seymour Duncan 59 SH1N, is reading a 7.35, so big difference between the pickups. And the middle position is reading a 5.25. And the control layout is very standard, just 3-way pickup selector, 1 volume, 1 tone, no coil taps or anything else like that. And I like to use a little piece of plastic to put behind the trem block there, just so it stays nice and in place while I'm working on the guitar. I find a Strat backplate works great for that. And there's 2 tools that come with the guitar hidden in the back. It's one for the strings and also locking down the nut, and then a smaller one for adjusting your intonation on individual saddles. And it does have a really gorgeous top on this guitar. There's tons of movement in the flames, nice 3D movement. And it's got a really nice, you know, arm carve here, and follows the carve really nicely. It's a really good looking guitar. Alright, let's have a look at the pickups. So starting off with the bridge. The lead's a little tight there, but I can get it out. So yes, it's indeed a TB4 Seymour Duncan pickup. And this one has the 4 lead configuration. So it would be possible to split this pickup if you wanted to wire it that way. And here's a look at the cavity. So it's fully shielded, and we've got a ground wire running to the electronics cavity. Appears to be nicely routed. And we'll have a look at the neck pickup. I was a little worried because this pickup doesn't have the Seymour Duncan on it. All the ones I've seen online have Seymour Duncan on both, so I was kind of worried this one might have been swapped. But it appears to be all original. This one has the braided wiring, so this one is not splittable. And it looks like it is indeed an SH1N in the neck. So appears to be all original. And we've got another ground coming from the neck cavity. This cavity is shielded as well, and the route appears to be very clean. And the all metal pickup rings are pretty cool. They feel like they're substantial. They feel like they're nice quality. So here's a look at the bridge. This is an original Floyd Rose bridge. That's what it says in the specs. I'm not really a big Floyd Rose guy. I can't really differentiate. But for those more in the know, this is what it looks like. It appears to have all the original parts. Nothing looks to be missing or swapped out on anything. And a look at our knurled metal knobs and our interesting looking switch tip for the 3-way switch. Alright, here's a look at the back plates. So these are all metal back plates, and it appears the original owner has left the sticker tag on the guitar there. Looks like it cost $2,390 way back in 2006. The price of these have risen considerably, which is the case on some guitars over time. And it's got the original model number, which is the SL2H-MAH Natural. And here's a look at our wiring. So it's pretty simple wiring. Again, 1 volume, 1 tone, and a 3-way pickup selector. The cavity is quite a bit bigger than it needs to be. I wonder if they're just using a standard template for that. But there is room if you wanted to add extra stuff on this guitar. I don't know why you'd want to modify such an expensive guitar, but again, you could if you wanted to. And it looks like the control cavity is shielded as well. Indeed, we've got our CTS pots here with a 06 on there, so that suggests that's 2006, which is already confirmed by our serial number. And there's a look at our three-way switch. All the solder joints appear original. Looks like nothing's been messed with in here. And yeah, it looks pretty clean, pretty simple. And there's a look at our side-mounted output jack, which is a Switchcraft, as well as the three-way switch. And it looks like we've got a little red style capacitor, box style. And there's a look at our trim block. Everything looks to be well routed, the electronics cavity and the trim cavity. And we've got 3 springs attached to our Floyd Rose bridge. And it was missing a few screws in the trim cavity plate, so I have to go through my parts to see if I can find similar ones. And I'm not sure if I'm going to remove this sticker yet. It's on there pretty good. It's going to be a big pain to remove. It doesn't really bother me. And it kind of preserves the history of this guitar, which some people like. I might just leave it, and then if the next owner wants to remove it, they can go ahead. Here's a better look at that belly cut. It's quite deep. And here's a look at our heel carve here. So yeah, it's super comfortable. You can get all the way up to the very end of the frets, all 24 frets, extremely easily. So yeah, that's a very nice comfortable carve there. And just another look at where those Allen keys are mounted and hidden on the back. So easy access if you need to adjust. And I just want to take a quick look at the neck. So the neck is like ebony, but it's really well worn in, so it really has that really smooth, you know, glassy like quality. And the shark skin, or the shark teeth mother of pearl frets look great. They really catch the light. They've got a lot of color in them. Very nice looking inlays. And I went ahead and polished all the frets, so they're super shiny now. There is some wear on the frets. You can see there's some worn in divots. Now I did check this with a fret rocker. All the frets are nice and level, and I lowered the action before I took off the strings and tried it, and there was no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. So these frets are not causing any issues. In the future they might need to be filed down a bit and recrowned, but there's nothing that's affecting playability at the moment. So yeah, super nice looking neck. The binding, I don't know if I can catch it on camera here, but it's Ivoroid, which is kind of a synthetic plastic that has this kind of candy cane stripe look. So you can see that on the side. So yeah, it's nice looking Ivoroid binding, and that continues around the headstock. And here's a look at our serial number here that's stamped into the base of the fretboard right near the neck humbucker. And the serial number is U17811. I actually had to call Jackson for this to verify the date because I couldn't find any resources online, and they confirmed it's a 2006. And then here's a look at the headstock. Again, it's got a flamed maple veneer that matches the body. And there's a look at our truss rod channel. I did check this with an Allen key, and it turns freely. It's nice and responsive, and not stripped at all. So yeah, impressed with the quality so far. I can't find a flaw on it. The fret ends are really well done too. I forgot to mention that. And it doesn't feel sharp at all. Super smooth. And these are jumbo frets. So I'm going to go ahead and restring this with some 10 gauge strings, some Ernie balls. And then I'm going to set it up, and then we can check the setup. Alright, man, I just got quite a nice setup on this guitar. The strings are all stretched, it's intonated, and the tension set on the Floyd. Everything's good. So using my notched straight edge, there's very little relief in the neck. can see that little sliver of light poking through. So the neck is nice and straight with just a tiny bit of relief. And then here in the 3rd fret area, you can see when using the 3rd fret that the string is resting right against that 1st fret. So we've got nice low action in this area. And then at the 12th fret, using a depth gauge, we can see that the low E is between a 0.75 and a 1 millimeter. And that's the same on the high E. So very nice low action. This guitar sits very nicely on a strap with no neck dive. I'm just going to run through the neck to show that there's no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. I like to speed up this part, but if you want to hear it in real time, just slow down your player to 25%. So yeah, very nice low action and no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. And the fret ends feel great, super nice and smooth. The fretwork on this guitar is really, really well done. It sounds nice acoustically as well, it really rings out. There's lots of vibration when you play too. Alright, let's get some neck specs. Width at the nut is a 1.72 or a 43.72 inches. And at the 12th fret, that's a 2.09 or a 53.07 millimeters. Neck depth at the 1st fret, while compensating for the strings, is a 0.82 inches or a 20.82 millimeters. And at the 12th fret, that's a 0.88 inches or a 22.56 millimeters. Here's a look at the neck profile. So it's a very kind of a flat D-shaped neck, and it stays very flat even by the 12th fret. And the neck doesn't feel too thin. It definitely does feel like a thin D-shaped neck. It feels like a real shredder neck for sure. It feels good. And I just want to quickly go over condition. This guitar, I got it. It was, I would say, pretty much excellent condition. There's no marks or dings anywhere, and everything on it is like pretty much mint. There's no marks or dings on the headstock. And again, there is some fret wear, but it's not causing any issues playability wise. Plays nice and low, no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. And the ebony has been worn nice and smooth, very glassy feeling fingerboard, and the mother of pearl inlays look great. Really nice flame on this top too, and no scratches or dings on the top. If you look super closely in the light, you can see maybe some light scuffs in the picking area, and there's some light scuffs on the metal covers, but very, very minor. Lots of movement in the flame as well. And on the back, I've got some tape residue on the pickup or on the cavity covers, but it's very easy to get rid of. I'll get rid of that with some Goo Gone. I noticed like maybe a tiny little mark on the side here. There's some discoloration. Something might have dinged there, but it's not, you can't feel it at all. It just looks like it lifted the lacquer a little bit in that one area. But again, overall, this thing is in extremely nice shape, very clean for almost a 20-year-old guitar. And here's a look at our original strap buttons. Everything on this guitar is original as well. And no marks or indentations of any kind on the neck. Has the original Allen keys. And just one thing I'm noticing now is right here. It looks like there's a little finish ding right there. But yeah, overall, extremely clean, very good shape, and all original. All right, let's go ahead and plug this thing in and see how it sounds. I'm not much of a metal player, so I'll do my best to play this in a manner that this guitar is probably meant to be played. I'm not going to be using my basement today, not enough gain on tap, so instead I'm going to be using my Randall RD45. I'm also going to be using a Flint Strymon for a little bit of reverb on the clean channel, and then I'm going to be using my new Octa Psi pedal for a little bit of really heavy kind of octave distortion later on in the video. I'm just going to be using the clean channel on the amp and the dirty channel, and we'll go through each pickup position, clean and then dirty. I'm miking up a 412 cab with an SM57, and I'm using an Audio-Technica condenser mic for the room. Yeah, it sounds great clean. The pickups are super articulate, and both pickups sound a lot different, but they're both have great usable tones. They sound really good. I really like the middle position as well. I'm going to try it with a little bit of overdrive just to see how it sounds slightly overdriven, and then we'll get to some heavier stuff. All right, so what are my final thoughts on this 2006 Jackson USA Select Series Soloist Mahogany in Natural? This is typically not the type of guitar I review on this channel. I'm not really a metal guy, so I don't really buy or, play these sorts of guitars. That being said, I might have to start dipping my toe in these type of guitars in the future a little bit more because I love this guitar. It's just effortless to play. The glass, like super smooth ebony fingerboard mixed with those big jumbo frets just makes bending and playing so easy. You can go so fast and bend so easily. It feels great to play. The quality is there too. They've used super high-end materials and the craftsmanship is excellent. I didn't notice any flaws or issues on the guitar at all. It's really, really well crafted. It stayed in tune perfectly. The Floyd Rose stayed in tune perfectly. Everything just worked really great on it. This is the original Floyd Rose 2-point locking trem, and it worked fantastic. I wasn't sure if I would like the pickups. The pickup reading on the bridge is super high. Typically, those aren't the type of pickups I really use or really like. But this one was super articulate. You could use it for overdrive. It sounded great clean. It sounded really good with a lot of distortion, which is probably what it's meant for. But the pickup set in this thing was great. And just the small, attention to detail things on this guitar that were really nice, that made it really stand out. I really like the super crazy flame top with a lot of movement. I really like that comfort carve there with the flame top kind of wrapped around it. It looks great. And the heel carve feels great. You can access all 24 frets super easily. It's really easy to play. And again, this is a through neck design that's supposed to help increase sustain. And it felt great. The guitar really vibrates when you play it. And that is a quarter sawn piece of mahogany they use for the back of the neck. I thought the Ivoroid binding looked great, and typically the neck is thinner than I like. I usually like a big chunky C-neck, but for some reason I really got along with this neck. It was super easy to play, super fast. It just, this guitar felt like it kind of played itself. Yeah, everything on this guitar is super high-end, high quality components and super well made. I don't have any complaints about this guitar. It feels great. And again, I'm not a metal player, so I hope the playing demo did it justice. It comes with a super nice original flight case. This guitar is all original and it's in really great shape. I would say it's excellent. There's no scratches or dings anywhere. Oh, sorry, there is one small ding on the headstock there that I showed earlier in the video. And you can kind of see some picking scratches if you hold it up to the light in the picking area. But that's about it. It's in really nice shape. If you haven't tried one of these guitars before, I highly recommend it. This one really surprised me how much I liked it. And as much as I like this guitar, it's quite expensive, and I need to use that money for a few other things in my life. So if you're interested in this guitar, I'm going to have it up for sale on the Reverb page. The link will be in the description. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you for tuning into Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'll have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.